my mind work backwards just for a minute. I hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you. You lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you. You make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember. I remember you. You lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 241 of The China Show, The Real China Show. Where is the area code for 241?
Shout out to Gabon. Usually these are American area codes. We shout out every time based on the number of the episode. Today is not America, it is Gabon. So shout out to our Gabonese.
Absolutely.
Shout out to you guys and put it down in the chat if you're in Gabon.
Absolutely. We have such a jam-packed show for you today, guys. A lot of crazy stuff happening in China, a lot of funny stuff. Wow.
If I was to rank, I'm not joking. And be happy you're here live if you're here live. If not, it doesn't matter because you're watching anyway.
Sure.
Be happy you're watching because I'll put it to you this way. We fought over like what to name this or whatever because out of the 241 episodes, this is definitely like top 1% of stuff that happened. Like the amount of crazy stuff that happened for sure.
Yeah.
So you're in a good episode. This is not a filler episode. This is a main episode.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we never have filler episodes.
No, but this is a good one.
For sure. Anyway, let's get right into it. We're going to saunter into it with what's new. And this is where we talk about everything that's new, specifically with regards to China. We wanted to show you this lovely clip of this, This is like a parking lot area in front of a shop, but there's a hidden stair.
It looks it blends.
Yes.
Right?
Is it going to make it?
Do this. I'm glad we're not starting with anything too heavy.
Yeah, how about this guy? Look, he's taking it slow. He knows there's something up. Is he going to... Oh, no, that didn't work. How about this one? Oh, no, yeah, that's fine.
Pause that real quick.
Okay, sure.
We were arguing about this. You were saying this is a knockoff Ford Bronco. I was saying it's probably real because they sell them there. It's not an import.
I think it could be knockoff. One thing, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but China is now starting to make replica shells for like the 1970 Broncos and stuff. You can buy a whole replica body shell.
Wow. So that's going to really bring down the value of those 70s Broncos because those go for a lot of money.
Yeah, because you could build a fake one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't you think that'll put a dent in the people? Like, in the market, like, let's say you're exorbitantly wealthy and you have $100,000 to throw at a car.
Yeah.
People are buying 70s Broncos for $100,000.
Yeah.
But if you just want that look and you just build one out of a shell.
I'm more concerned about the people who are scummy, who will go and take like an old rubbish one where the body's destroyed and then just put the Chinese shell on it and say that's the original metal.
Well, you won't
cut
be able
out
to
the
say
tags.
numbers matching and all that
Well, no,
stuff.
they'll cut out the tag and weld it in. You know what I mean?
That's true.
That'll happen.
Especially because they're so expensive.
Yes. Anyway.
This is not an old Bronco. This would be a new one.
I still feel like that's just a knockoff.
What do you guys think?
China does
think
make
it's
a
fake,
knockoff.
legit Bronco is still legit. What do you guys think? It's real or fake? Is that a real or fake?
Well, I had a Chinese flag in it. Oh, delivery boy ate.
Oh man, he was
ate the
going
dirt.
fast.
Yeah. Now you see they put up a sign. Says Xiao Xi.
Oh, now
It's like,
it says careful.
Yeah, little heart.
Careful. Yeah.
That's what careful means, is little heart.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a doozy. That step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a risk everybody takes. Whenever you eat street food in China, you're always 100% of the time going to ingest something that you're not expecting.
Most people said that was fake, by the way.
What?
They chose the
Yeah,
Bronco.
it is fake. I'm pretty sure it's a fake Bronco. And they do have fake pretty much everything.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I was just trying to be devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Got
And
it.
even the ones that are like a different brand and slightly different, you can get all the appearance kits to make them look real.
Yeah.
Remember that when I
Yeah.
bought my
Yeah,
car?
you're right. You are
right
true.
from the dealer, they were like, do you want us to put Toyota badges on
You
it?
are true. By the way, if
Yeah.
you guys are true, please hit the like button. It helps
Yes.
us out a lot. Thank you very much.
So anyway, this is a street vendor. He's got a spatula there that he uses to he prepares your lovely, delicious street food with.
Can I call what food I think that is?
What?
Probably jianbing.
I was going to say jianbing.
Jianbing is an egg pancake. They
So-
crack an
yeah.
egg, with some dough, not dough, some batter.
Batter.
And they spread it super thin, and they roll it up with lots of goodies inside, like lettuce and sausage and some spicy ketchup.
You say sausage, but it's not really.
Chinese sausage.
Yeah.
Pink.
It's pink.
It's pink meat. It's basically reclaimed sludge from the factory
It's really
floor.
awful. But you know what? Jianbing's good.
It's good.
I love it. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what this guy's going to do with this lovely spatula, because, he has to keep everything hygienic. Let's just clean it in a dirt puddle in the road.
I love the added
oil.
splash that people put on
and then the puking frog. Anyway.
Like, come on. Well, that's really nice. That's really nice.
Don't worry,
Remember,
guys.
you're eating street food in China, you're taking the risk.
Correct. Now, this happened 2 days ago. Okay?
Yes.
It was at Chaozhou.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Chaozhou and Guangdong in south of China.
This is a brand new hospital. Okay?
Brand new.
Brand new. Like, they've
Days
just,
old, I guess?
yeah, they've just moved in. They've just set it up. People are waiting there. And this is the waiting area just outside the pharmacy. And you can see the people just chilling. Okay? They're going to go get their drugs from the pharmacy there. And, there's a registration window. And as you can see, the date up there, the 5th. Okay? So,
Yes.
Like I said, a couple days ago. Today's the 6th, right?
Yes.
So that'll be yesterday. If my math checks out, I don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
Do
Anyway,
we have soundbite for that?
What's
I
that?
feel like she hasn't popped in for a long time.
I don't even know what soundbite it is. Yes, what?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Younger.
Oh, you mean that?
Come on,
Oh, yeah. I'm so
bro.
sorry.
Younger and beautiful.
I wonder if she
Sorry.
works at this new hospital as like an attendant.
Yeah, exactly. An AI attendant. Okay, guys. So anyway, a day ago,
Yes.
thereabouts, this brand new hospital.
That word's not okay to use for Italians anymore.
What? Thereabouts?
No, a day ago you said, right?
Stop.
Go ahead.
Stop. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What the hell? Okay. That's not cool. All right. So, as you can see, the ceiling collapsed onto people. Nobody was killed, and that's why we could show you this footage. Okay. But that's not what you want from your brand new hospital.
Well, you know what? There is a silver lining here.
What?
They're already in the hospital.
Yeah, I know you say that, but where's the silver lining? Because there is another thing I'd
The
like
silver
everybody...
lining is the metal that fell
the
down.
ceiling
on
lining
them.
is
Yeah.
what there is. Okay,
Yeah.
I'd like everyone to pay attention to the plethora of medical staff and nurses and doctors and attendants and security guards that are rushing to help the victims.
They came later. Much later in the next clip.
You know what comes? Okay, see, that person is a relative, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
coming to help. You know what does come? Here comes a dude with a ladder. He's like, maybe I should try and see what's going on up there with that ceiling. Okay. I'm not going to help the poor people lying down here who are like,
Yeah,
literally...
like the people behind here that are supposed to be giving pills out.
Yeah. No, we'll just go.
You know what this nurse is gonna do?
What?
She's gonna offer some pills. You know she's gonna.
You know what?
offer
It's going to
some
be like,
pills.
it's going to be something like, where even is that? It's going to be up here.
Yes. Take the
That's
pills.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's gonna offer that.
Correct. Anyway, look, the reason why we're showing you this is just the absolute absurdity of a brand new hospital. You're chilling out there, you think you're okay,
An
and the ceiling
expensive
collapses.
New hospital.
Ceiling collapses on people.
Yeah.
Now, we often hear people saying China builds fast, China builds quickly. Look at what they do, and this is the
You're
result.
not wrong.
This
You're
is
not
the
wrong.
result.
I'll never argue against when they say that. I will argue that that's a good thing.
What?
Like when they say, I'll agree with them. Say, yeah, China does build fast. But when they say that's good, I'll say absolutely not.
No.
And I'll say Exhibit A,
Yeah.
Exhibit 7,258.
Yeah. I mean, they're lucky no one was killed.
I mean, this gets so much worse. We can finally show you something now because this wasn't a fatal one.
Yes.
They often are.
Yeah, we can't show fatal stuff. Anyway, you guys get the idea.
China is at the forefront of really everything. Buildings, infrastructure, loan projects in different countries.
But you have to add the word collapse to the end of every single one of those things.
Correct. Roads,
Collapse.
trains,
Collapse.
hospitals.
Collapse. Yeah. Anyway, maybe, now just hear me out. Maybe this is a marketing ploy of the hospital to ensure that they get more customers.
Oh, didn't think about that.
You know what I'm saying?
It's we injure you in the hospital. Then they don't have to spend the cost to take the ambulance out there.
Yeah, it's like, we're saving you money.
In-house.
Yes, we save you money, putting you first.
Injury and treatment in-house.
Yes, exactly. The whole experience. Come experience hospital life.
Yes. This is progress.
Yeah. I like how the security guard there's like, don't film.
Yes. Now this is huge, and this is one of those things. This is such a big episode.
Yeah.
That this would normally have been the focus of the thumbnail to like get you in here because this is quite literally a collapse of a new metro in the city you lived in.
Yeah, exactly. This is in Bao'an district of Shenzhen, first tier city in China. And I've got to say, the underground metro system is top class, very clean and modern and great and, all, high tech.
It's definitely underground.
Yeah. Yeah. But the unfortunate thing is when you build something nice and new and clean, and if you look at it now, even while I was looking there, you can see it degrade. It opens up, it's clean, it's fresh, it's new, and then they send all the shills in to say, like, look at the New York subway, so filthy,
and
this
like
is so clean.
100-something years old.
Yeah, but it's like, it's clean because it was built last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
problem is safety is not on the top priority when it comes to Chinese construction. As we all know, we see the tofu dregs collapsing. We've just seen the hospital roof ceiling collapse. This is quite tragic because there are currently 13 workers that have not been accounted for.
Yeah.
When you've got a collapse like this,
It's devastating. I do have I'm sorry, and this could be in poor taste, but they could call someone like a superhero to come rescue them.
Like who?
I mean, this is a subway after all.
Oh, yeah, I suppose, and that is in pretty poor taste.
It is. I'm sorry, but
Do I look like
it's
a
just.
Wonder Man?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just set up for that, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
And because the reason I thought of that was not because of the tragedy; it was because of the fact that you said they bring shills there.
Yes.
Because that was a propaganda campaign.
I remember.
As funny as that Subway Wonder Man is, it was a propaganda campaign to look at how amazing the subways in China are, and this is quite literally what they are.
Yes.
This just happened.
I mean, guys, I have to say this right now, and I'm going to make us big for this, is you very often see on any kind of social media, they'll say, look, American trains, and then they'll show like a rickety old railway of like a 80-year-old railway or something, or that Ohio derailment or something. They'll be like China's trains or subways, and they show this like fantastic, really good, high-speed, beautiful, amazing infrastructure, like great architecture subway station or something. But what they keep failing to address, and especially with the subway comparison, they often show, here's New York subway, and they'll show like flooded or something and gross and rats or something. And then they'll show a sparkling new subway system in China.
And it's
but
like
they
AI.
don't show, but they don't show the subway where everyone drowned to death.
Right. Correct.
Because,
Correct.
Remember, thousands
Thousands.
Thousands of people were trapped on the subway in that terrible flood that also killed all those people in that tunnel, the actual car tunnel. And you've got live footage of people in their last moments of life, like, we're trapped in here. Okay, they don't ever show that. And this is a big, big, big thing that people have to point out.
Not only did they not show it, they banned people from laying flowers to the victims because then people started to count how many victims there were.
Exactly.
We had, at a very rudimentary estimate, thousands of people that died in that tunnel. I mean, we're talking about the levels of like people that died in 9/11.
Yeah.
But that's not a problem to the Chinese government.
Whenever you next see one of those comparisons where they show New York City subway that's got like graffiti on the wall and a homeless person lying there, and then a shiny like Chinese subway, remember that the New York City subway hasn't ever had a situation where thousands of people drowned to death
recently.
Because of lack of infrastructure quality
Right.
and safety and things like that.
I want you to look at this image. Do you want the Chinese government to be building your country's infrastructure projects? Because they're clamoring to do so.
I mean, here's just simply, again, a couple days ago, road just decides to open up and swallow a bunch of cars.
Because they don't survey correctly.
Yeah, and this is, by the way, completely unrelated to the subway thing,
Dragon Hill had a good thing.
Yeah.
91 trains were submerged.
Yes.
In that flood, and 4 kilometers of cars.
Yes.
Which were back to back, by the way.
Yes, exactly. 4 kilometers of cars within 5 minutes, by the way.
Within 5 minutes.
So there's no time to escape.
No.
Horrendous. So it really irks me and annoys me. Yes, the New York subway, everyone knows it's kind of filthy and gross, but it's old.
Why is no one talking about the new line that just opened up in
Yeah.
Grand Central Station?
Yeah, exactly.
It's beautiful.
When they do this, and I don't understand why they have to do that.
Yeah.
Why can't you just say, look at our nice new subways? Why you got to say, like, look, New York sucks,
Yeah.
but ours is... I mean, because if you're going to do that comparison thing, you could also say, how many people have drowned to death in the New York subway over the last 100 years compared to in China?
The reason the
You know?
Chinese government has to pay shills
Yeah.
that make videos that say America bad, China good, look at China's fancy new stuff is because it's projection.
Yeah.
Because this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
This is what actually happens in China.
Correct.
You have to lie about it and put out this false propaganda because you need to make that people believe it. Right?
Exactly.
We do have a projection soundbite.
Oh, we do. I know. It's probably over here.
Correct.
Anyway, let's get back to it because we got so much to cover. What's next in What's New? Oh, yes.
You know, like...
Look, we have to show some traditional Chinese
Oh, you want to be sarcastic about
Food?
it? Okay, sure.
Oh, so this is true. I am true.
You are true. But I did want to say that I am the guy that will always give credit to preserving tradition.
Yes.
But somehow I think that either this is a tradition that should have been lost or
Yeah.
is not a tradition at all. I have evidence for
Okay.
my second theory.
Okay.
And you'll have to watch the husband in the background. But what she's making, and just prefaces, because I don't want to translate the whole way.
Sure.
She's making her traditional method of cooking a goose egg.
Yeah, it's
in
called
ash.
ash eggs.
Yes.
Dust
Dust
eggs.
eggs, but it's
they're
in
called
ash,
dust
yeah.
eggs. All right. It is a traditional thing.
It doesn't need to be.
Exactly.
You want to see?
Not
why?
all traditions are great.
I have a theory about why this is not necessarily a traditional dish.
Okay, let's take a look. Can we show everybody?
Yes.
Everyone, please
This
pay
goes
attention.
deep.
This is a traditional dust eggs. What's going on?
Just listen, take it all in. Listen to the dust flute.
产物会盖住，
I cover it with ash, she said.
差不多啦。
It's
这是
差不多
传统美食会蛋。
It's her traditional way of cooking it.
I love her husband, so enthusiastic.
That's what I wanted you to watch.
He's
And this is
very-
why I don't think this is a traditional dish.
Okay.
I mean, I want you guys to look at the actual egg, okay? But we'll look at his reaction.
That looks like a freaking oyster.
It does because it's so covered. It's like an oyster's shell, right?
Yeah, let's take a look.
But that's the cooked egg. You gotta slap it.
Yummy.
I mean, look at this, right?
Okay.
Look
What-
at that.
Yeah.
If you have to do that to your egg. My theory here, notice something. Pause.
Yeah.
Did you see that there? Did you see something there? I
I did.
actually captured the moment it happened.
Okay, let's go look back at this. What are we
This-
looking at?
This guy, as you could see from the previous clips, looked so depressed. Not just bored, like depressed.
The husband.
I have a theory, I have a theory that state media showed up and they're like, we need to film some traditional food. And the guy has been spending 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years of his marriage with his wife that has delusions and maybe some sort of problem.
Yeah.
Because she won't stop cooking eggs in ash. And she
Right.
busts out her ash flute to make it. And
Yes.
he's just been like, can we finally eat some normal food? And what's happened is state media's come in to film this tradition. She's excited.
Yeah.
And has just validated decades of mental instability about this ash egg.
Sure.
And he quite literally can't take it anymore in the shot and vanishes.
Well,
I managed to capture
Oh,
this
yeah.
moment.
He's actually not there, is he? He's gone. He's hightailed it.
He goes, if you keep doing this, I will quite literally leave. And you can see his spirit vanish
Yeah.
in the clip
Yes.
as she eats the ash egg.
Oh, yes. That's pretty funny.
This is my
Yeah.
theory. I might be thinking too much about it, but I think that she's just been validated.
Yes.
And he's had enough.
Yeah, he's had enough. He wants something real to eat for once.
That is the saddest man I've ever seen in my life.
Is that when a foreigner tries it? Guys, okay. All jokes aside, though, I understand where this ash egg comes from. Okay, think about it. Right, when people just don't have pots or pans or anything to cook on, right?
Yes.
You've got an egg. You
Yes.
need to cook it.
Yes.
Well, other than making it hard boiled, which makes more sense to me, like just stick it in its shell, right?
Yes.
Why not crack the egg on the fire directly? This is the kind of thing you do when you're like desperate, right? You're out in the
Yes.
woods and you're desperate. Either that or very drunk and you
Yes.
just don't have anything. You're just like, I need to cook something. You know, it's like when I cook sausages on the engine of my car.
You did do that in China, in
yeah.
IKEA.
Yes.
Yes. You told me immediately after you did it.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It works.
And I would eat it.
But the thing is, at least it was wrapped in tinfoil. But if I were to just like throw it on the greasy like engine and just, you know, that's what's happening here.
I will say this.
What?
And I back you up on this because this isn't China's first foray into strange eggs, as
Yes.
you maybe have a soundbite for.
Oh, yes. this
There's
is very
another
true.
egg-related tradition.
You're right.
太舒服了
You know what she's eating?
我家好好。
Yep. If you had missed that episode, we had
Yeah.
covered an entire city that boils eggs once a year in piss.
Yeah, in urine.
In urine.
Little boy urine.
Yes. They put buckets out at schools, they pee in them, and then boil it in them.
Yeah.
And it's people will travel from around China to go eat that.
Yeah.
So ash egg all of a sudden starts to not sound so
I mean,
bad.
but again, I definitely can see the origins of this is like you just don't have cooking utensils. Either you don't have the technology to
Yes.
make it.
Yes.
Maybe it's ancient times that came up with this.
Yes.
Okay. Or it's during time of famine and
Yeah.
where no one has money. They've already
Yes.
destroyed all their pots and pans to
Correct.
smelt it down for Maozedong or whatever.
You're true. I think this might be a commie thing because they got rid of all their pots and pans.
They're like, well, we still got to cook eggs. Like,
Gotta make
well,
ash
why not
eggs.
just throw it on the fire?
And poor husband, can we freeze frame one more time on him?
Sure.
Poor husband is like, we already passed that era.
Yeah, look at
We're
it.
not
He's-
starving anymore.
He is the most unenthused husband in the world. It's like-
Beyond that, he's genuinely sad. He's remembering the time when he had to like eat his teacher. You know what I mean? In Mao's Culture Revolution.
Yeah, exactly. Poor guy.
And the Great
产
Leap
物会
Forward.
带入，
That's just so unappetizing to me.
差不多啦。这是传统文
Look at that. Look at him in the
tried.
background. Look
He's
at him.
so sad. I feel it.
Yeah,
I
he's
feel
like,
it.
it's like this for dinner again.
Again?
Poor guy.
He ascended, dude.
Yeah.
He ascended out of there.
Yeah, he did.
I hope he's in a better place.
Me too. This poor guy. I feel for him.
I genuinely do feel.
I kind of want to start like a GoFundMe to send him like a, I don't know, like a
You know what I'd
care
send him?
package.
Yeah. You know
Yeah.
what I'd send him?
What?
A year's supply of eggs. Like regular eggs that he can cook any way he wants.
Yes,
In
exactly.
a pan.
Yeah,
A
I'd send
pan.
him a non-stick frying pan.
That would be fantastic.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be a nice thing to do?
Oh yeah, I'd definitely start a charity just for him.
I don't think we'll ever find him though, because he's quite literally ascended in this shot.
Yeah, he's just like I'm
She
out.
takes her last bite, and that was the moment his
just-
soul just
I'm gone.
disappeared. It's very funny that that's what happened.
Yeah, because he's not eating it.
No,
She's the only
I
one.
love that he was in the shot and then vanishes out of the shot.
Yeah, when it comes time to eat, he's like, I'm out.
Like,
I'm nowhere
I'm not
near
doing
this.
this anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
My wife's nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
big plot twist, isn't it?
absolutely. Yeah, there's dust there.
I did have a poll up right now.
Oh, what
would
is
you
it?
would you eat the ash egg? We've already hit the threshold of votes. 15% of our audience said yes, they would try the ash egg, and 85%, an overwhelming majority, would not eat ash egg.
I think we got a fairly
Dust egg.
sane audience, at least 85% sane.
I wouldn't feel nauseous if I like. I'll be like, whatever. It's a
Dude, like,
dirty
have
egg.
you eaten charcoal or whatever before?
accident,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, you know, the dust. Sometimes you drop something
Yeah.
or whatever in a grill or something.
Yeah.
It's not nice.
No, but
Imagine if it's all that.
It's the half
May as
the
well just
ingredient.
grab that and eat it. You know what I mean?
You're true. You're true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, before we move on to our next thing, we've got a word because I thought, you know what could save this marriage?
What?
A subscription to Factor.
Absolutely. Notice how days are shorter, but your to-do lists aren't. Power through your busy days with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. From breakfast to dinner and anything in between, Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled and feeling your best. Whether you like routine or you like mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add to your box like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. Don't let shorter days slow you down. Stay energized with America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. We love Factor.
Absolutely. It's
Delicious.
really, really good. It was such a surprise to me.
To be able to pick all these different menu items that are never frozen. It's not this processed food. It's fantastic.
Chef prepared.
Fresh. Yes. It's
Yeah.
fresh stuff. Find guilt-free comfort foods like home-style chicken and gravy and loaded mashed potato pork chops, feel-good vegan options like sweet potato and chickpea curry, and globally inspired flavors like Peruvian shrimp and red pepper Collie grits. There's no sacrificing quality for convenience with Factor. I want you guys to head over there.
Take a look.
Head over to factormeals.com/50ADV. So
80, isn't it 80?
No, it's 50ADV. We have a new update code.
Oh, okay.
So just show a little menu item there.
So, sorry, let's get back. Before we hit stop again, we got to go to factormeals.com/ADV50.
Nope.
That's what it says on the thing.
Head to factormeals.com/50ADV.
Oh,
and use
sorry,
the
so
code
it's 50.
50ADV to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code 50ADV at factormeals.com/50ADV to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping while your subscription is active. I would be surprised if the other thing didn't work, but there's a new updated one.
Okay.
So it's factormeals.com/50ADV.
So just swap it around. 50 ADV. Look, seriously, I can recommend it. No joke, these kind of pre-made meals, I'm always skeptical about the quality, but they're actually really good.
Fantastic.
Like, no joke. Really, really
Fantastic.
good. Try it out. Yep.
All right.
So,
what do we got next?
well, we're going to move on to slopaganda.
What is that? What is slopaganda?
Well, slopaganda, as we all know by now, is slopaganda is. Let me get the thing to come up here. Slopaganda is where the Chinese government tries to do propaganda and it kind of falls short.
Right.
Recently, they're doing that whole Chengdu panda thing again, right?
Oh, so they're promoting pandas.
Which means there's problems. Whenever they start to promote pandas, you know there's some big international issue or something.
You guys ever at a bar or a party and you're like having small talk with people, and if China ever comes up, a thing you can tell everyone that will blow their mind / you will be the know-it-all in the group is, in a good way, is that you can bring up that whenever China shows pandas on their state media, or they put it out, or they talk about it diplomatically, or tweet it, or anything, if they ever bring up pandas, it means something horrific is happening in China.
Yes.
Which it is.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to later.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, what they've done is there are multiple videos about this stupid like panda-themed shop. So, well, you can just see for yourself. We'll show it to you. Let's make sure we got our volume up and let's do it. Okay. Time to press play. Slopaganda coming at
Raging
you.
Roger.
Yes, Raging Roger's here.
I love Raging Roger.
Look, Panda Post Office.
Panda Post Office?
Oh, good lord.
What is that?
Let's take a look.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sending a postcard from here must be a special experience.
Sending a postcard to my mom.
Okay, great.
She's gonna be excited. I've never sent a postcard before in my life, actually.
Really? It's the first time.
Seriously.
She will be very happy.
Duh.
We love Panda, that's clear to see.
You are going to send this postcard to America?
Yeah, it's going to the other side of the world.
Okay.
Just let it be.
Can we break that down for a second?
Sure.
Whoa, that got heated.
Yeah, we'll get to
Before we
that.
get to that. So this is slopaganda. Remember, these pandas are cover-up always for something horrific happening. So we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But Raging Roger is a guy that they've been using recently. They've replaced the old man Rick,
Yes.
which you have on that.
Of course. Yeah.
Wow, so good.
The Chinese government has been used to use that guy, that kind of used car salesman looking guy, presenter looking guy,
Yeah.
game show host from the
Yes,
70s.
yes,
kind of guy.
yeah, exactly.
They used to use him with this Miranda girl.
Yes.
And they would go around and do propaganda stuff. They've replaced him with Raging Roger, as we call him,
Yes.
because he always seems very upset about what's happening.
Yeah, he's very unenthused.
It's not bored that he's actually kind of mad.
Yeah, he
He's
just
kinda
doesn't
teed
like.
off.
He doesn't like it.
Just really teed off right now.
Exactly.
You know.
He's like, what is that? You know what I
Stop
mean?
it.
Panda Post Office?
Oh, good lord.
I love.
What is
Hold on
that?
a second. Why is he on a bike?
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
We figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, take a look, right? Isn't it weird that he turns up on a bike, but Miranda's not on a bike?
Yes.
So here you are.
Look,
Isn't this like
Panda
organic?
Post Office.
Panda
like, what an organic scene. He just happens to be on his bike and she's just standing there. What, did she walk there?
No, you know what's funny?
What?
Right before they posted this, there was a live stream where they did the exact same video, but
Yes.
live streams with Chinese people.
Yeah, also sending the postcard.
Did everything the same for 15 minutes.
Yes.
And then after that, after they like vetted the place basically on live stream, then they brought over a Raging Roger.
Yeah. They must have like a deal with that little Panda post office, and they're like, for kickbacks or something, we're going to bring lots of people over.
It's also just propaganda, right? Of
course, yeah.
But have we not mentioned the hat?
No, we haven't mentioned that.
Why not?
Yeah, it's kind of, it's horrible. Remember Salte Waters had to wear that, like,
Yes.
good old, where is that?
They made this poor guy.
Yeah. Whoa, sorry.
What a wonderful song. How come I've never heard it before?
They made him wear one of those, what are those called?
Those rice paddy hats.
Yeah, rice paddy hats, right?
Let's just call it a rice paddy hat, yeah. So anyway, yeah, he's wearing a panda hat. I love it.
Post office?
Oh, good Lord.
What is that?
Let's take a look.
I love that there's nothing to do in here.
No, this just a bunch of panda-related tat.
Like, he is so...
He's like, oh.
I know you added some funny sound effects, but imagine having to film. Imagine this. You're an actor,
Yes.
let's say, because I think he's one of those actors.
He
where
is an actor.
Yeah.
He's got a profile or whatever.
Right, that's right. That's
on
right.
an
That's
acting
that's
website. That's where they probably hired him.
It was in the back of my head.
Yeah.
They have been hiring these like actors, freelance actors, right?
Yeah.
And this guy,
I think actor is kind of subjective. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you
You're
can
right.
you
It's
can
not
call yourself
objective.
whatever you want. Doesn't mean
can.
you are.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. I'm the president of Venezuela.
Sure.
You could say
sure.
that.
You
You
can
could say
say it.
whatever you want.
Yeah. Anyway.
Raging Roger, that's right. He was on an acting website.
Yeah.
You could hire him.
Yes.
And I imagine they're like, hey, you're going to be on this thing where we're going to promote panda tourism. And you're like, all right.
Yeah.
And you show up and they're like, sit on this blue bike.
Yes. Here.
Put on
Put in
this hat.
Yeah.
Put on this freaking hat with a little bamboo sprout on the top of it. And we're going to huck
Yes.
plushies at you.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we want you to look real happy. Look at how miserable he is.
Well, I mean,
I would be too.
it's pretty boring to have to sit there and look at a bunch of panda-related tat and hold a panda plushie. Let's be honest.
That's his voice now. That's his you really commandeered
That's
this.
his voice. That's his real voice.
That's his real voice, yeah. That is the worst toy I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Sending a postcard from here must be a special
Girls
experience.
inside the shop, they look over, there's this tall-ass redhead guy with a sprout coming out of his hand.
With one of those floppy, like, bucket hats or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty demeaning.
I feel bad for him. I
it's-
genuinely do.
It's like they're dressing up their jester.
He's a public figure.
Yeah.
So it's fair game.
True.
If people
Sending
laugh
a
at us,
postcard
Yeah,
to my
yeah,
laugh at
mom.
us all you want.
Sure.
I mean, I look like a
Okay,
henchman
go-
of mafia.
Yeah, exactly.
She's going to be excited. I've never sent a postcard before in my life, actually.
It's kind of bizarre. I feel like, have you sent a postcard before in your life?
Dozens.
I mean, it's interesting. It's strange that a person could go throughout their entire lifetime.
That's what I'm saying. Have
And
you
not
sent
send a post-
postcards?
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Especially in our generation, right?
Yeah.
We're about 40.
Yeah.
Growing up, you do that when you go places.
Yeah, I'm
I've
40,
sent
44 this
I've
year.
sent tons. Good,
Yeah.
lucky number, dude.
Great number.
Dude, why do you gotta be that age?
I
That's
know,
our
it sucks.
nemesis.
Yeah, and it's 2024.
Oh, can you skip it? Can
I'll
you skip
try.
it?
Yeah, why not?
2 + 2 is
Yeah,
4,
exactly.
and you're 44. That's quad 4.
Yes, it's not good.
Oh.
Anyway, the fact is, this,
I'm gonna poll, by the way.
what's that?
Ever sent a postcard?
Ever send a postcard? Let's
I'd like
find
to
out.
know. This is Big Post is controlling us, trying to get these demographic
Yeah, it's big
data.
post. Yeah.
Really? It's the first time.
Seriously.
She will be very happy.
Oh yeah, so this is what I wanted to point out.
What?
China's state media, we didn't add this music.
No, they made this music.
But they made it in AI. They've been making AI music and AI music wizards. And so they'll be like, make a song about pandas and how we love them or whatever. And it will literally make like a terrible song, like a ditty. And this is an AI
I'm
song.
more interested in what he's writing on his postcard there.
Okay, go ahead and read it.
Chengdu is home to pandas. There are hundreds near the city.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's pretty basic. It's like, it's a pretty basic postcard.
There's nothing wrong with what he
No,
wrote.
it's nothing wrong with it. It's just like,
You didn't spell anything wrong.
you're sending this all the way from across the world, and that's what you write.
Vote threshold is coming up here. Yes, 65% of people have sent a postcard. 35%. So Raging Roger is in the no. 35%.
Okay, well, I mean,
minimum.
I guess there's more people than I thought haven't sent a postcard before.
Yeah, me too. I thought it would be almost everyone. I think younger people will be less apt to. He could be a young guy. You know what I mean?
Sure, he could be.
I bet he's
Just
much
like
younger than us.
He could be an actor too. Anyway,
let's listen to this AI song.
I love this song.
I've been singing it all day.
Yeah, yeah.
Panda, that's clear to see.
You are going to send this postcard to America?
Yeah, it's going to the other side of the world.
Okay.
Just let it be.
Why? Just let it be.
Yeah.
Like don't look at it anymore.
I like the idea of let it
Me
be.
too.
Just
Don't
please,
touch the pandas
just
anymore.
just stop talking about them. Let
Yes,
it be.
just
Let them
let
be
it
in the
be.
wild or whatever. You know, we're
Yes.
not going on about lions or something.
No, this AI music is so freaking bad. It's probably one of the worst things about Chinese propaganda now. But this little ditty is so infectious in a
Yeah.
bad way. Can I hear it one more time before we
Okay,
move on?
last time.
And I want you guys to read the what is it? Follow me. What is that?
You know, the karaoke lyrics.
Yeah, but you know the bouncy
Sing-along
thing?
song.
Yeah, sing along
Sing
with
along
this.
I've sent a
Yeah.
postcard
You'll
before in
follow
my
it,
life,
okay?
actually.
Yes, okay.
Really? It's the first time.
Seriously.
She will be very happy.
Duh.
We love Panda, that's clear to see.
You are going to send this postcard to America?
Yeah, it's going to the other side of the world.
What a song.
Okay.
Just let it be.
China's dream. Let it be.
Exactly.
Get it out of there.
Oh, so anyway, we got an exciting announcement for you. The Royal Rumble is coming.
The annual The China Show's Royal Rumble is this year's main event.
Characters from the China Show come out one by one, and they bring their beef.
The first year, Jaunty had a great performance.
Great.
But he wasn't so lucky the following year.
Tractor bulldozed Ballsack for a stunning victory in year 2.
Winston, Jaunty's been looking for his second victory. But he's really, for lack of better words, pissed at the Haze Runner because he, in fact, is the fastest man in the world.
I'm the fastest man in the world. Nobody can stop me.
Not that wheezing maniac.
Also, don't forget, the new kid on the block, or should I say new brick in the wall, Mason, who's really angry with his neighbor Salte Waters, who plays his music too loud.
What a wonderful song. How come I've never heard it before?
It's been a little too much for Rick,
Wow, that's a little too much for me.
who's been replaced by Raging Roger. This is the feud of the year.
Join us at the Xiaoban Ho live tier to watch this year's main event, this year's Royal Rumble, as it happens with live commentary from C-Milk and Winston. You will be there and you will enjoy it. You will follow us, okay?
You'll follow me, okay?
Or you can support us at any other tier level to see it after it airs live.
Don't forget, you can gift patron memberships and bring the joy of the Royal Rumble to your family this season.
We'll see you in the ring on December 23rd at 5 p.m. EST. Be there or the frog gets peed on.
Awesome.
Who's pumped?
I am.
Frickin' pumped? Best promo ever. Can you freeze frame
agree.
it on something informative for them so we can explain it real quick?
Okay, sure. I'll get it back to something informative. I mean, informative, like that.
I was thinking more like on the tiers. But
Yeah,
either
like
way.
crying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, our Patreon is the place where you go every week to see our extra show, which is called Xiaoban Ho. It's every
Yes.
Monday. But every year, once a year, we have something called the Royal Rumble, where everyone from our lore, give a couple
I
of
mean,
lores.
we've got so many people around here. We've got John
Great.
T. We've got, Dear Wong's in there.
That's a long one to play.
Yeah, we've got Clam Man. You know, we got
Wow,
Rick.
so good.
Oh, he likes it.
He does. Yeah, we got everyone.
Everyone in
Yeah.
the China show. And so this year we'll have new people, but we've had 2 Royal Rumbles. It's once a year, and all the characters come out. We don't know the outcome. It's live.
Yeah, we're introducing Mason.
Mason is, we'll give you that in a second.
Yeah.
But these new characters come out, and whoever's last in the ring, whoever can stay there the longest. By the way, we're in it as well.
Yeah, we're in it too.
Which is weird because we're commentating.
Yeah, exactly.
The last one in the ring is the winner, right?
Of course. Yeah.
And this year is going to be more intense than ever because there's never been this many characters in the Royal Rumble. Yeah. And there's new kids on the block, new bricks in the wall.
Yes.
We have a lot of contenders, and we have some real beef in between the characters, which is great. Mm-hmm. If you want to watch this, it's going to be December 23rd at 5 p.m. EST.
Yeah.
You support us at the patreon.com/ADV podcast.
This one.
And if you join us at the Xiaoban Neho tier, you'll watch it live with us, right?
Yes.
Together with us. We'll do the live commentary.
Exactly.
And if you don't want to, if you can't afford that, or you want you just want to watch it afterwards, you can join at any tier.
Yeah, we'll be releasing it to all the tiers.
All the tiers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you join us again at patreon.com/ADV podcast, you will get this year's Royal Rumble. It's going to be hype. Yeah. I'm super. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
So excited.
It's the highlight of the year.
Can we introduce who Mason is, by the way?
Sure, of course. So
Mason's been fighting with Salte Waters because they're neighbors.
Let's take a look.
It's poetic.
Yes. So
music to this, like it's violence.
Mason is somebody who came along with Xiaoban Ho.
You can imagine, like,
and he's basically
like
has this feud with his neighbor. He threw it back. Where he throws bricks over the wall, and the neighbor throws the bricks back at him. Okay.
I love the bar. I love the bar.
Yeah. So it's
love it.
dangerous to be hanging around with their bricks flying over
He's like listening for the next one.
Yeah. Occasionally, like over here, you'll see. Okay. Whoa, that was close. That's a lame.
But Salte Waters is on the other side.
Yeah,
right?
it was.
That's Mason.
This guy. Yes, Mason.
Yeah. Salte Waters is on the other side of the fence, playing his music too loud. So they've been really duking it out with each other. So we figured, why not bring them together in the ring? Who's Salte Waters again?
Well, you all know Salte Waters.
What a wonderful song. How come I've never
He's an
heard
Australian expat living in Zhongshan. He loves these traditional songs, but he turns them up a little
too loud.
A little too loud.
Mason's like, it sounds like there's a dying cat over there.
Yeah, it sounds like dying whale.
Yeah, exactly.
And he wants to get his revenge.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to give him that revenge.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped.
Me too.
I regret the outfit choice I had last year, as you can see. I look like a groupie for a juggalo.
Yes, you do.
I look like a gay juggalo.
Yeah, you do. You do. I'm sorry to say, but you absolutely do.
I'll try something else out this year.
Yeah, let's do it. Cool. So anyway, guys, I hope you could join us for the Royal Rumble. It's going to be so much fun.
Xiaoban Ho live tier to watch this year's main event, this year's Royal Rumble, as it happens with live commentary from C Milk. Sorry, we double talked over the Mason clip.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to Soft Power Hour.
Yes.
The
main segment.
Yes, okay, Soft Power Hour. This is where we talk about how China is trying to change your mind and what's really going on there. And Ruin Nation is this new concept coming out of China where, you know, we used to have lie flat and let it rot and
this is something we've been
and,
hearing about.
You know, that now it's more like, well, hey, listen, if I can't make it, no one will.
I'm assuming that Ruin Nation is like ruination.
Yes, like ruination.
The word, which is maybe a new word for some people. Ruination just means the destruction of everything.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
So Ruin Nation, I guess, is this new catchphrase that's been coming out.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, lie flat is this idea that everyone's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Because the economy's tanking, their unemployment's at a record high. No one wants to participate. Beyond that, this seems to be a continuation of lie flat. Is no, we're going to do something about it. We're actually going to destroy everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So you see people running people over in mass attacks. You see people sabotaging factories.
Yeah, for instance, this factory was intentionally set on fire by the workers, hence the thumbnail. Now, guys, we showed you last week, I believe it was, a bunch of factory workers on the top of an alcohol factory. They'd been up there for 8 days demanding their wages be paid. We've been seeing this a lot where people are kowtowing and trying their absolute best to demand the wages that they're owed. And this is an unfortunate reality of China, especially for migrant workers. They get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And they can't do anything about it. There are no laws to help them. The government doesn't step in.
You're right.
And so the factory bosses can literally just not pay them.
Correct.
And sometimes for months at a time, 6 months. And these guys just have to kind of keep, you know, surviving, hoping that they get their money.
Yes.
Okay. And in this particular case, they had enough. And they're like, okay, that's it. Set fire to the place.
So yeah, this is in Changsha in Hunan. Factory workers were like, nah. So so this is, like you said before, and I hate that this is a trend.
Yeah.
Because lie flat is innocent enough. It's just going to wreck the economy, which the Chinese government really hates.
Yeah.
But this is beyond that. This is wreck stuff.
Yes.
Wreck everything. Wreck society.
Yeah, take revenge against society.
And it's becoming a copycat thing.
Yeah.
So more and more businesses and factories are going up in flames. Not just flames. People are blowing things up. There's kerosene explosions. There's like we said before, these massive 2 happen within the past couple days of people just running through crowds of people.
Buses, trucks, cars.
So this ruination is become this copycat phenomenon across the entire country where they're not going to lie flat anymore and just, I'm just going to scroll through my phone.
They're going to take revenge against society.
We're going to go out
and
there.
Bosses.
It's anarchy.
Yeah.
It's anarchy. So that's unfortunately, it didn't stop at lie flat. Chinese government tried to ban the phrase lie flat because they don't want people to be unproductive, right?
Yeah.
They want to be productive. Everyone's got to have a job.
So here's the thing. I'd like to explain to our audience, why has this kind of thing come about? Now, we all understand that the slowing of the economy is always going to make these kind of problems appear. People are disgruntled. They're not getting their money. They're not getting paid what they're owed, right? That type of thing. But here's a particular situation that we wanted to show you, because this kind of thing happens all over the country. And this is where you really get to see that nothing can be done.
This is such a good / such a sad example of ruination.
Yeah.
Because
what causes it?
This is what causes ruination, because the next step of this is ruination.
Yeah.
This is pre-ruination. What's happened here is that there is a solar farm being set up.
Photovoltaic, which just means
yeah.
solar farm, yeah.
Can you point out, like, I guess if you look above us, where we are right now, see the guy with the yellow hats? If you go above that, you'll see all the hills covered in solar panels.
Yeah.
And these are used not necessarily to generate electricity, because we found there was ones in the north that were not even plugged in. They were
not
just being
connected.
used in drone shots to show that everything in China
Yeah, they make him in the shape of a panda and stuff.
People that don't even support China or the Chinese government or whatever still will congratulate China for all their solar farms everywhere, right? What they don't see is that a lot of these are set up as a facade.
Yes.
Right. This is just put out there to be the #1 solar user in the world, #1 green technology person or country in the world, right? Meanwhile, they use the most, produce the most CO2 in the world, all nations combined, more than. They contribute more to global warming than any other nation in the entire world.
Correct.
They are building new coal plants at record pace while the rest of the world shuts them down.
Yes.
So they do everything that they say is bad.
Well, it's so that they can say, we have the most solar panels.
Yes. And then
we've made the most renewable energy. But people see that and then they leave it alone. They don't see that we made the most renewable energy at the highest cost and to the most detriment to the environment.
Yeah.
Because they have to produce that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they produce this low quality crap. They slather it over a mountain like a person putting margarine on toast or something. And then they're like,
but
look,
they do it when it's cold, so it rips the bread. That's what China does.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of bad impacts that these solar farms have, okay, to the local environments. The local wildlife and stuff gets destroyed, and the local fauna and flora and all that kind of stuff. But what they're not telling you is the human cost of this.
Yes, so they've actually completely eradicated villages of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Because they need to reclaim the land to set up these solar farms, right?
Yeah.
And the people don't get like a massive, what's it called? Like a compensation or a call to be like, hey, we're going to do this. They'll get blindsided by it.
Yeah.
And the government doesn't care. The Chinese government doesn't care. Authoritarian governments don't care. They thrive off of people's misery because they can shut down their voices.
Correct.
So if nobody has a voice, they can't protest, they can't do anything about it, and they can actually just take them out. What you see here is this solar farm in the back is about to be expanded into this village.
Yes.
And the people are like, I live here.
Yes.
My crops are here. My animals are here. My home is here.
Yes.
My family is here.
For generations.
They don't even have paved roads here, by the way. They're living off of the land, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of China does. Still, hundreds of millions of people live in poverty.
Yep.
And they're like, no. I mean, we're going to hold our ground here because we don't get anything out of this.
exactly.
Right? So if we can actually look at some details here.
Yeah, let's take a look.
This is what's causing ruination.
Yep.
People don't have an outlet. So they're protesting. They're like, nah.
Yeah, they just carry them away. They went there to try and stop the construction workers from basically bulldozing their entire village to put stupid solar farms. And look,
those are harsh words. They actually went to go reason with them. They went to go complain.
Yeah, of course. They're like, hey, stop trying to bulldoze our village or whatever. So as you can see, they've got riot gear out, okay? and they just take care of the guys because there's nothing they can do about it, right?
Right.
Because they're just poor villagers.
Yes.
Up against riot gear and the government.
Right.
Right?
They want to turn that beautiful hill into that.
They just want to turn it, like glass it over to this horrible...
Yeah, glass it over is the right word.
So we've translated, this is the video that was shared.
Yeah, this is Binglia Township. This is in Yunnan. The village government forcibly occupied farmers' land and beat up the people. I hope that friends who see this video will help forward it so that everyone can see that the government is like this, bullying the common people. Now, obviously, this is shut down.
Yeah, bullying the common people.
This is obviously shut down, but managed to escape the Great Firewall. Those people are losing their homes. Why do you think ruination is happening?
Yeah.
Why? Gee, I wonder. Could it be all the government people that come in and take your home and then bulldoze your land?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is that. And it's kind of hopeless.
It really is. It really is.
So, December 4, Shangmu Village, important news. That is so small. How are we supposed to read this?
I can pull it up.
You've got it over there? Okay. Sorry. Yeah. We have our monitor, for some reason, way up on the wall in the studio, and it's far away.
It is far away.
Yeah.
It says, a leader in Binglia Township was against the Shangmu photovoltaic
Which just
power
means solar,
project,
solar
and forced to build in the grassland forestry area of our village. The masses were very dissatisfied with the project and went to the construction site to reason with them. The leader instructed many people to become arrested, tied up, injured, and bleeding, and made our village smoky. They actually smoked out the village, and that's why in that clip you can see it's all smoky.
Yeah,
it was normally a sunny thing.
Sure.
They smoked the villagers out.
Of course.
What is this? It's like hunting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The people are uneasy. We must resolutely oppose corrupt elements, give back the voice of justice to the people, and stand up against corrupt elements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's such a horrible system in China because they'll always, if you can see here the smoke, they smoke them out.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah,
They're
insane.
smoking out people.
Obviously.
Isn't that what you do to a rabbit in a log?
Pretty much.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much. The problem with all of this is if it gets a lot of international attention or a lot of attention around China, let's say there's people stand up and they're like, hey, this is unjust. They can always try to blame the local government officials for being corrupt. Never mind the fact that it's the system that's corrupt and it's the central government at the end of the day who's actually enabling this because they want these stupid solar farms to use for propaganda.
Yep.
It's absolutely not for anything practical.
No.
They already building like 1 billion coal power plants or whatever. They've got enough electricity. I just want to put this up for propaganda.
Yep.
You know?
These are for propaganda / for it to go into the statistics.
Yes.
Right.
That's what it is.
This says illegally occupying villagers' farmland and forcibly installing we'll just call it solar panels. Yeah. No one has solved the problem and no one has dealt with it. Villagers
have been beaten.
Been beaten. Yeah, villagers have been beaten.
Yeah.
Look at the view.
Yeah, it's great.
But then you get stuff like this. And it's just fascinating to me that you'd have a front page article, by the way. This is I think a shill that put it out.
Yeah, shills are always sharing. They love this.
The article is not a shill. The article was a mainstream opinion piece on a mainstream media source.
Yeah.
And I was shocked to see this on the front page of the news without being on my feed, just a feed, like a blank feed. It said, only China can now lead the world on climate. As far as global environmental concerns go, the U.S. has irretrievably split personality. At what cost? Number one, that's false.
By the way, it's easy to change this. Just add destruction to the end of that headline.
Correct.
Only China can lead the world on climate destruction.
Yes.
Because that's what they're doing.
They are destroying the entire country and countries around the world with the Belt and Road Initiative.
Yes.
They are, like I said, the world's largest polluter and largest emitter of greenhouse gases.
They have the world's largest stupid fishing fleet that goes out there and decimates the ocean. They've outfished their own seas completely. So that they have to go to South America.
Yes.
They have to go to Africa. They have to go everywhere to destroy the ocean there.
Correct. They have mines collapsing in on themselves due to over digging in their own country, burying dozens of people every year, hundreds of people every year.
Yeah.
They have strip mining with slave labor in Africa.
Yeah.
This is a neo-industrial imperialist power that is quite literally destroying the world. Yet this guy, Adam, says only China can now lead the world on climate.
It's ridiculous.
They're removing people from their village, bulldozing it over.
They've used more concrete in in 1 year than the entire
US
100 years.
Yeah,
in 100 years.
Yeah.
Look, China is destroying the environment, okay? There's no joke. There's no two ways about it. If you want to look at actual raw data, the amount of pollution China's done, their entire country, the water's undrinkable. 90% of groundwater is contaminated in China, all right? The soil, too. This is not a country that you look to and say, this is a good idea.
Where's the opposing opinion, though?
Yeah.
That's what I'm losing my mind, because what's the response? This Adam guy or whoever, please make a response to our criticism here, because we cannot. No one has rebuted this correctly.
Yeah.
They say China's plan is to hit carbon neutrality. China's plan did this. China's plan did that. I don't care what your plan is.
Yes.
You're doing all of the things you're not supposed to do worse than every country in the world, while they minimize their output.
Correct.
I don't understand.
Then they get praised for destroying the environment.
Yes.
It's not okay. You know?
I mean, are we nuts?
Yeah, I think the whole world is nuts. And they just look at like look, there's a hill with solar panels on it, and China is great. That's it, right? Never mind the human cost and the cost to the environment. It's stupid. Anyway, let's move on. Otherwise, we'll harp on about this crap all day.
I mean, we go on about the environment stuff. But anyway.
Here's another thing.
Another ruination.
Guys, all right, we've shown you this before. But again, you could talk about it, but showing it's better. What happened is, here's a school, okay? Where's it, Shunda?
Yeah, this is Shunda in Guangdong in the south.
So anyway, here's a school. And a student apparently fell in, like, very, very rapidly ill. Mm-hmm. But rather than try to call in an ambulance or involve the medical, services or a hospital or anything, they tried to revive him. Okay, this is apparently what they say. They tried to revive him themselves and waited for like hours before actually calling the ambulance. And they died.
Which often happens in China, unfortunately.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is after the student died finally. Then obviously the student's dead. So they're like, okay, I guess it's time to call the ambulance now.
Now this could happen anywhere, but that's not the point of this.
This
it
is
gets
not
so
the point.
Grim.
Yeah. So of course the parents now are not happy.
Yes.
Take a look. So they go outside the school to demand answers.
Yeah.
What is the response?
Why didn't the ambulance show up? Why didn't you call for help? Why did you try to
why did you not notify the parents?
Yes.
That type of thing.
Because they always try to hide it.
So the family and some other parents, they go out to demand their rights. What do the police do? They deploy their physical censorship barriers again. Take a look closely. They're like umbrellas. Okay?
Now, this isn't to hide a body. The body's been removed.
No, there's no body there, guys. This is
they're
to
not
hide
even
the
inside.
protest. I'm going to go back to that just so you can see it again. We have more of this. Okay, can you see? You can see the back side of one of those. It's like an umbrella.
Like a square umbrella,
Yeah, it's like a big square umbrella. The cops carry them in their cars now. They keep them around wherever they are. And whenever there's a protest or something, they put it out. And what does it say on there?
It says, I can pause it on one of those clear shots.
Well, we've got another one coming up, right?
It says police enforcement, no approaching, no photography.
Yes, you can see it there. Now, this is like obviously one of the protesters inside filming, okay?
Inside the umbrellas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you can see...
This is nuts.
Yeah, you can see that they've
It's
blocked
physical
them.
censorship.
Yeah.
These are censor bars, but in real IRL.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I know we've shown you guys this type of thing before. We've shown our audience this. We've shown the training they do with these. They don't only have these, they've also got big sort of like tarps that they roll out, right?
Yeah.
But the whole point is you can talk about it and say like, oh, they've got these things, but to see them actually using them is another story.
And they're using them a lot now.
Yeah, they use them.
There's so much social unrest.
Yeah, exactly. This ruination thing's real.
This ruination thing is real.
So the fact that on the actual thing itself, they say no photography, and they've even got English on there for some random reason, which is strange.
It's funny because they actually promoted this as they bragged about it.
Yeah.
During the white paper protests, they actually had a model stand up with a piece of white paper and then deployed them as fast as they could. Yeah. And they bragged about it. And people were around the world, it went viral. People were like, what is this country?
By the way, you might be wondering why they're wearing sort of white cloths on their head.
It's a funeral thing.
It's a funeral thing. It's like in China, white or black both represent death.
Yes.
Traditionally. So people wear like a white armband or a black armband.
It's like a mourning thing.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
MOUR.
Yes, not like coffee.
This is Streisand, like, note, by the way, these umbrellas, because then you're going to look and wonder what it was. But it does actually work. It shuts down.
Of course. People can't see what's going on. They're like, oh, I don't know what was going on there. Something. You know?
Physical censorship is wild, dude. It's wild.
The fact that it says no photography on there as
like,
well.
I get that they block. I mean, I don't get it, but like, it's a country with an 8 out of 100 on the world freedom charts, right?
Yes.
It's almost North Korea level at this point. Just has more money, but you understand. Oh, I'm removing a post or blocking a keyword that says like protest or something. But to get cops out there when people are like, "Hey, my son died. What's going on?" and they pop an umbrella in front of you, and then nobody can see what's going on. It's wild. It's wild.
So that means the videos can't spread to show what was going on because all you'll see is like, can't look here.
Because they don't want this to happen. What we're doing now and what all the dissidents do all over Twitter and stuff and sharing these videos. They don't want them to do that. They only want them to see the umbrella.
Now, last week we showed you this horrendous case, and we're not going to show it to you again, don't worry. We're just showing you the screenshot to remind you of this crazy guy who ran down all these students.
Yes.
Okay? And we showed you a whole lot of that.
Another
By the way,
ruination thing.
that has not stopped, but we've decided there's no point in us showing you every week all the incidents because, you know what? Then you get desensitized to it. Then it just becomes the new normal, and you're just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. A bunch of people got run over, so what?
Yeah.
It's shocking. It's shocking that people are still running over children and innocent civilians every day in China.
On a daily basis.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's ruination. It's part of ruination.
One thing, because of course we couldn't show you the uncensored version of this clip. We'd never do that. But I've seen we've seen the uncensored version of this, and you see those bollards, right?
Yeah,
they actually look like
traffic barriers
balls.
in America,
Okay, they look like big balls over there. The whole reason for those bollards in the first place is to prevent somebody from, whether it's by accident or on purpose, driving onto campus.
But they're not working because they didn't work here.
They didn't. If you see the original footage, they just get knocked aside as if there weren't even anything, right? So he knocks them aside, manages to run over some kids, does a U-turn, knocks some more of them aside, and goes back down that road, knocking over a bunch of innocent people and children. And there's a reason why. Can you guess why? It's because they're just stupid fiberglass fake garbage.
Just like the fake fire hydrants we showed you guys that weren't hooked up, so people burned to death in their buildings.
Yeah.
Across the country, they were putting up fake fire hydrants.
Yes.
To say, yep, we did it. Just like they do fake elevator inspections.
Yeah.
And then they collapse and all the families
Correct.
die. Fake bollards.
I mean, think about it, right? You have to put them out there because that's now the law or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, okay, listen, we got to stop people running over our kids. The government's like, okay, make sure that you've got bollards. What do you call them in America? Like
Traffic barriers, yeah.
Traffic barriers. You got to have traffic barriers / bollards set up outside of your school. So they're like, okay, but we don't want to have to pay for like a heavy stone bollard because that's expensive to transport.
Of course
and
it
expensive.
is. Of course it
Or like a
is.
marble one would be very
Yeah.
expensive, right? So what do? You just make a fake one out of fiberglass and give it a candy-coated shell.
A sheen.
It's like an M&M.
It's like an M&M.
You know what I mean?
It's like a cursed malted milk ball.
Exactly. Maltesers. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
exactly.
cursed
It just
Malteser.
teases you into thinking it's real.
Yes, it's a
Yeah,
Malteser.
exactly.
Yes.
Anyway, so it's a ball
That's
teaser.
grim.
No, that's something else. Anyway, so this is why they're ineffective because they're light
Yes.
and hollow and garbage. Just like everything else in China, China is the land of shortcuts and facades. And it gives you this idea that it's safe because if I see those bollards on the side, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I can walk here because a car won't be able to hit me. And that's what they want. They just want that the optics, the facade. Because in reality, that's not going to stop a car at all. In fact, it's just they'll knock that and that'll fly into you.
Well, it's proven to not work.
Yeah,
so.
it's proven to not work. We've seen it.
You know what is effective, though, is if you guys please like the video. If you're watching, it does help us a lot.
We would appreciate
Before
it.
we move on to the next segment. Thank you very much.
But this is not the next segment because we're going back.
Yeah, this is also part of ruination. I just want you to remind...
Just remember we showed you this hospital collapse, in the beginning. I'll show you one more time just to remind you that this was, yesterday? And this is a brand new hospital ceiling falling down. Bam. Okay. Now, we've got another clip from another hospital, and this is all relevant just to bear with us.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't need to see that whole clip again. We'll just fast forward through that. Okay. Is this?
Yes.
Okay.
Right after this one.
Yeah.
This is only a little bit of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Just reminding people of the hospital thing.
Yeah, exactly. We had to remind you. What do you see, guys?
Oh, here we go. I guess this is a different place.
This
the
is
physical
a
sensors.
completely different city.
We need
completely different place.
We need a name for these physical sensors.
Yeah, we have
that's so long.
Yeah, physical censorship barrier is a bit long.
But someone in the you guys in the chat,
maybe you can come up with a good name.
Come
for
up
these
with a good
things.
name for these.
Now, first of all, I'd like you guys to notice that these are of a different design.
Yeah, they are.
So it's not just like one size fits all.
Yeah,
and this shows you like
department,
each city will have its own version, I guess, each police department. But you can see no approaching, no photography.
Yes.
Now, this woman over here is, of course, disgruntled. She has a megaphone. Okay.
Man, they're busting out the
Now,
nope
look,
umbrellas.
yeah, let's see.
Blockers.
Blockers, yeah. You see how they're like trying to like from the top as well, because there's obviously like someone's filming from on top, right?
Yes.
There's like an upper level where people can film.
Covers.
Cope cover. I mean, yeah,
Oh,
maybe.
man, sensor shields,
Yep, sensor shield's pretty good.
blinders, yeah.
Yeah.
Hop down in the comments if you have an idea what to call these.
Okay, so the idea behind this, as shouting dating says over here, so that's not dating, by the way, it's dating. Su Huang's sister, her younger sister, 26 years old, was receiving treatment at Nanshan Hospital.
Ah, you've been there
I
many times.
and
You
I
worked
actually-
there,
I
didn't
worked
you?
there, yeah.
This is your job.
Yeah, I trained doctors there.
So, not to go back to those.
I didn't train them in medical, by the
those
way.
cope covers.
What? The cope covers, yeah.
Where she is standing, you've probably stood somewhere there.
I have actually been right there.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, I've been there.
We've been on the ground.
Yes, I've been in that hospital.
Yeah.
In fact, I might even have footage of myself there. Either
Shame
way.
shields.
Shame shields.
I like it.
Shame shields. China's shame shields.
Again, leave a comment if you have a
Okay.
better idea.
So anyway, was receiving treatment at Nanshan Hospital. A doctor who was not qualified for the job gave her a wrong injection, which caused her to become completely paralyzed. Later, her treatment was delayed and she died a few months later. You can check it out here, etc., etc., blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is the reason why she went there, because her sister was treated incorrectly, like malpractice, which, of course, in China, you'll never win any kind of malpractice suit.
No.
So she went there with a megaphone to demand some kind of justice, someone to answer for this. Why was an unqualified doctor allowed to give her the wrong medicine and cause her to die? Okay? And what do? They whip out 3 shame shields.
Yep.
I kind of like shame shields.
Shame shield's good.
Yeah, Chinese shame shields.
So I want some people to have something to take away with. Now we know why this ruination, whatever trend is taken off, right?
Yeah.
We understand what's going into this. We understand why it's a continuation of Lie Flat. But we also want to tell you that this shame shield thing, this is not where this ends.
And again, this is not some little fad. This is
No.
now being used
Yes.
on the daily basis in China. Whenever there's anything that's a little inconvenient,
Yes.
they just block it out.
But I think some people that don't have a full understanding of China, maybe you're a new viewer, you haven't seen what we cover often. You might think that, okay, well, when it dies down, they covered it up with these shame shields. No, she goes to jail.
Yes.
She gets disappeared probably forever.
Yeah.
If you cause a public disturbance or what we call society stability management, if you go against stability management in China, that's the
Social harmony.
One of the highest crimes in
Yeah,
China.
yeah.
So this doesn't end with shame shields.
Yeah.
They black bag you.
I also don't like it when people try to project their own Western mindset onto
for
this.
sure.
A lot of people will be like, oh, they only have those to, block a horrific scene if there's a car accident or something. No, that's not their priority.
No.
I have seen so many dead bodies lying on the street in China.
Dozens.
They don't care about that. Like in the West, when I was growing up, even in South Africa, if there's like a fatal car accident, the first thing that the police or the ambulance does is they put a cover over the body.
Yes.
They put a blanket over
Yes.
it. Okay. And I would always notice that, when I was a little kid. And I saw a lot of death in South Africa. But,
Makes sense, yeah.
there's always a cover they put over the person. In China, they don't put a cover over a corpse, a dead person on the road. They put a cover over somebody who's making a scene.
Correct. These shame shields are not to, don't use your Western lens, like Winston said. These are not to make you say, oh, well, let's respect the dead.
It's just like, now when the Chinese EVs are crashing or in an accident or something, the people go out there, the service staff go out there immediately to cover the logos and to cover them up. It's not because they want to cover a scene of an accident. They want to cover the logo.
Yeah, we had some people like from Germany that were reaching there. They're covering up the bodies. There was no dead people in those cars. They got out.
I mean,
right?
if you check out my Twitter /X, you'll see I recently posted another one where the guys immediately ran out to the representatives from that company just to block the logo. They've got like bits of cardboard to block the logo, not the rest of the car because they didn't have the cover.
Yeah, they're not blocking blocking bodies.
No,
guys.
they're
And
blocking the
just
logo,
Like this.
yeah.
This is to block so people don't see protesters or don't see society turning into ruination.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
You know why blocking the logo on those new Chinese EVs is so effective? Because they all look the same. I'm not even
that's
joking.
true. They're so
they all look
cookie
the
cutter.
same. It's like a white, like that one shape they
Yeah.
use. It looks exactly the same.
Egg-looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. Yeah.
You're true. All right, moving on.
Let's move on. Yes. So this is an unfortunate incident, but again, we can now very clearly show you.
And she sacrificed her life and freedom for that, by the way.
Yeah. And that's what happens. Oh, what do we got here? Let's move on to something a little nicer. Remember, repetition, by the way.
Repetition is key.
Repetition is something that we've learned over a little while. Let's do it. It's the Shaban Ho 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 holiday sale.
Shaban Ho is our Monday show where we get up to some serious shenanigans. It's a full episode every single Monday, and if you like the China show, you'll like this even more.
For the holiday season, get locked in now to get a Shaban Ho subscription for half price.
Wow, so good.
You get 4 episodes every single month right after they finish airing live, as well as access to the entire 100-plus episode backlog of your favorite Monday show.
Great. Current full-price Shaban Ho members will be upgraded to Shaban Ho Live, where you can still see Shaban Ho Live, participate in the stream, have your questions answered, and choose the next topic.
It's up to you what you want, but either way, it's the best time to get on board, and it's definitely what you want, I assure.
This is definitely what you want, I assure.
There's only a little bit time left on the Shaban Ho 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 sale. Can you pause it there?
Sure.
If you go to patreon.com/ADV podcast, right now it's half price to see Shaban Ho. Every Monday, Shaban Ho, it's our other show. Mm-hmm. This is the China show. That's called After Hours. We cover entire topics that you guys vote on. Mm-hmm. We have polls, we have events, it's very fun.
It's fun. Please come and join us.
There's 100+ episodes that you'll get access to.
Correct.
It's been normally been $20 a month. It is now $10 a month. You get 4 episodes every month. Mm-hmm. You still have to pay for the full live price of $20 a month if you want to join live, right?
Yeah.
But now at the half price tier, you get every episode we did before, and it goes up right after it goes live. You get access to it. So lock yourself in right now at the sale price, the Shaban Ho 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 tier.
Yeah.
You're gonna love
right
it.
after the live shows ended, then we put it up for you to see.
Yes. An example of a show
Excellent.
that we do is the Royal Rumble.
Actually, what's coming up? You know the whole Mason thing. We introduced you to Mason.
Yeah.
Where is he? I'll show you here. There he is. Okay, now the whole thing is Mason with his whole neighborly dispute with his neighbor throwing bricks over the wall. That's actually the topic of this coming Monday Shaban. We're going to be talking about these weird neighborly disputes and showing you footage of like people shooting each other with fireworks and doing all sorts of crazy things.
Yeah, clothesline disputes.
Yeah.
People get up to some wild arguments in China.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so funny. So we're going to break down some of the best ones.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that you guys vote on, right?
Yeah.
You vote on the topics. We've done a wide variety of topics. It's a lot of fun. So we highly recommend you lock yourself in right now. Your price will not go up.
Yes.
Even after the sale is over, if you lock yourself in now. Yeah. Number 2, just before we move on, you can now gift patron memberships.
Yeah.
So if you go to patreon.com/advpodcast/gift, that will actually give you the ability to buy it for someone else.
Yeah.
Which is
great
a great
holiday
gift.
Yeah.
Great gift.
Hope to see you there on Monday.
Yes.
Okay, now this is kind of related. In fact, this is 100% related to what we've been talking about. This clip got leaked.
Beyond the Great Firewall is where we translate clips that are going around on the Chinese internet to explain them to you.
Now,
translated it.
Okay, now to set the context for this, guys, these are the security guards.
This is a big one.
Yeah. They are about to be deployed because some people are coming to air their grievances. Now, this is what happens in China. It's like, let's just say you've invested in a bank and the bank's stolen all your money. Mm-hmm. Or
Which
you've invested, this
happens
is definitely going to be related to real estate.
Yes.
Real estate, this happens all the time. You buy an apartment, you put your deposit down, and then you start paying a monthly mortgage on it even before it's been built. Okay? And so they keep taking money from you, and they keep like kicking the can down the road, like, oh, don't worry, it's coming, it's coming. And then after a couple of years, people still don't have an apartment to move into, but they've been paying for all this time. They get really mad. And of course, the real estate market's really been crashing in China and stuff. So people go to demand their rights.
Yeah.
Okay. And what they do is they go and they take their signs to hold a petition. And in China, you can't just have any kind of protest. You'll be locked up and thrown in jail. But you can apply to go and petition something like that, right? But these guys are now preparing to meet these people that are going to demand their rights. Now, they're never violent, okay? Because you can't be in China. If you try to do a violent protest of any kind, you're done, okay? But this is what's happening. We've translated this for you. Let's take a look. These guys are getting ready to meet these guys.
This is leaked footage.
Yeah.
Like I said before.
Yeah.
No, just roll
Okay.
it. If they so much as move their hand, if they move their hand, it's the same as them beating you. First rule of law enforcement, we're also protected by this. Whoever gets beaten needs to fall to the ground. If you fall to the ground, you'll get a cash reward of 10,000 RMB, 1,300 bucks. The cash is in the car. The cash will be given directly to you in the car. 10,000 RMB per person. They want to hit you, you know? Don't just lunge forward and fall to the ground. Whoever falls to the ground gets the cash. Okay? Remember, all of you. The cash is in the car. You want to see how corrupt China is?
Yeah.
This is the you see the hammer and sickle? This is the party. This is the Communist Party of China. They are bribing the police to feign injury to collect cash in the car to stop this disruption.
Well, you know, here's the thing. The Chinese government uses their loose gray area law against the citizens all the time. So here the citizens want to come up and complain and demand their rights. So what they're doing is they're saying, like, even if they move their hand, even if they don't touch you, if they move their hand, it's like they're beating you. Just collapse down and pretend, oh, I'm injured or you hurt me. Because then that person's going to be like, oh, what? I didn't do anything. Now the government can go after them and say, now you owe huge amounts of money in compensation. They can bankrupt that person. They can completely ruin their life. And they can stop this entire, you know, idea of people coming to complain or to demand their rights. See how horrible it is.
It's a broken government.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Everybody knows you can't protest in China, right? Everybody knows that it's the worst thing you can do.
North Korea, you can't.
Okay. But even when there is, like, legally you're allowed to, you know, air your grievances, which is what they've planned to do here, they find ways to stop you from doing that. It's
a good example of this, and I'm sorry, we're going way over, but a good example of this is you're legally allowed to go to Beijing, to the Hall of the People, and this is a communist thing, and air your grievance to Beijing.
Yeah.
Legally.
Legally, in the Constitution. Yeah.
But the social credit system, which will dock you to the point where you can't send your kids to school anymore, you can't take a high-speed rail, you can't participate in the country.
You can't get a loan for a house.
Can't get a loan for a house. They will deduct your social credit score if you go to do that.
Yes.
So you see how that works. Yeah, it's in the Constitution, but you get punished if you do it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's all these backhanded things they do, like call your boss and tell them to force you not to go and stuff. That's just a pure example there. Caught on camera, caught in 4K, actually, sorry, caught in shit 80p, because everything in China is horrible resolution. But there it is, okay? That was from last month. Done. Let's move on.
Yep.
So you wonder where this ruination stuff comes from, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a good way to cap that off, because it's so intertwined even into the government's response.
Yeah.
Right?
A little follow-up.
Quick update, Chinese ships crew suspected of deliberately dragging anchor for 100 miles to cut Baltic cables. Do you remember when the Yipeng 3, this ship, apparently was dragging its anchor and cut all these internet cables in Europe?
But turned its transponder off and didn't tell anyone.
Didn't tell anyone. Cut the cables with its anchor. Right, it was over the spot where the cables were cut.
Exactly, yeah.
Right when it happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Cut these cables from 2 European countries, right? Got stopped in not international, Swedish waters, I believe. It is now part of this investigation, right? And some people are like, it's probably just coincidence, right? Yeah. Well, something very interesting, a very interesting follow-up to this, guys. A little spooky.
Yeah.
These patents from the Chinese Patent Office from 2011 and then 2019 have been surfacing. Now, we don't work in China's Patent Office, so we can't verify
We can't verify if these are real, but we did compare them to other patents, and they line up, the formatting lines up, the titles, everything. It looks legit.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
Yes. So
these are patents for devices to cut undersea cables.
That attach to
an
ship
anchor.
anchors.
Well, I mean, you can look at that one picture there. It's literally a ship with an anchor.
Yeah.
And the device is on the anchor to cut the undersea cables.
So these are CCP documents that allegedly show that there is a patent for a Chinese invention that has a little knife, a big knife that goes on your anchor and cuts undersea cables.
Yes. I mean, there's two different patents for two different devices for cutting undersea cables. And they brag about how, like, cost-effective it is and you don't need tether cables and stuff. You can if you want to take a screenshot of this, you can. If you want to go try to translate it.
No, I already put it.
Oh, you already put it through
Yeah.
Google's Translate? Okay, let's do the magic,
can have a
the
little
magic of Google Translating here. A
see.
little
We don't have to
abstract
read it,
about
but
it.
you
No,
guys can see
we're
it.
not going to read it, but we just wanted to show you. Yeah, I don't see why this wouldn't be real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm pretty sure they are real.
I mean, it'd be weird if it wasn't.
Yeah, yeah, it would be weird if it wasn't. These are the two different devices that they have.
I mean, this
cables.
again. I can't 100% verify this stuff, but it is going around the internet. right?
Absolutely. All right, so I guess it's probably, is it worldview time? Yes, where we talk about everything in the world, specifically with regards to China. And what do we got in worldview today?
So this is a warning directly from the FBI that went to mainstream media. It's fascinating and terrifying. It went through what happened during the telecom hack.
Yes.
So if you didn't know, TLDR, too lazy didn't read, China hacked American telecom companies, big ones.
Yeah.
Targeting a massive
Do we know
amount of
which
people.
ones?
I guess Verizon was one of them. There's a couple other ones, but they're slowly coming out with what.
I guess they've been trying to not let that information
what
get out.
company's gonna want that?
Yeah, they're like, hey guys, we got hacked by China.
Yeah. Anyway, the whole country got hacked by China, and it was such a big deal that people didn't realize how big of a deal it was. And now that these articles are coming out, we're finally starting to grasp and start to figure this out. And now we know we have direct advice from Department of Justice that is telling us what you need to do now, right? And I'd like to read some of this advice because this is beneficial to everyone here watching our show, anyone in America in particular, because America was hacked.
Yes.
It says, and you can read this.
In a surprising twist, the FBI, alongside CISA, has suddenly warned iPhone and Android users to use encrypted messaging and calls where available. This follows an extensive US telco network hacking campaign attributed to China's salty typhoon, with officials warning of a broad and significant cyber espionage campaign. While a senior FBI official assures that although hackers have stolen a large amount of records about where, when, and whom individuals were communicating with, he assured that for the most, these stolen records do not include voice or text content. But hackers did steal call and text contacts from a limited number of individuals.
But we'll get some more info on the next slide.
Okay.
This is important. This is actually really, really important. Because think about it, this is transparency. This is what living in a free country is all about.
Yeah, you don't have shame shields.
You don't have shame shields. We can actually look at what happened. You guys can make informed decisions.
Dude, you know,
about what
sometimes I kind of, sometimes you see some of those protesters, and in my mind, I'm like, you know, a shame shield could be really, really nice right now.
Yeah.
You know?
But you know what? It's their right.
No, of course.
Yeah.
And I support that. But at the same time, you know, in my fantasy world, I don't want to see your vulgar ass sign.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
There's
you know
some
what?
pretty vulgar
That's
ass
freedom.
signs.
You got to support
Just
it no
gotta
matter
say,
what.
yeah.
I may not agree with you,
I agree.
but I defend your right to do it.
And I agree with you there. I'm just saying.
This seemed a surprising move from law enforcement, given past frustrations that end-to-end encryption left agencies in the dark, unable to access user content even if court-ordered. Even Apple, Google, and Meta cannot access user content that's end-to-end encrypted on their platform, but the FBI actually referred to responsibly managed encryption, which implies some form of lawful access. The key advice is simple. Don't use basic network text messaging, including RCS, where those texts are not fully encrypted. This rules out Apple's new RCS option for messaging Androids, albeit when messaging within iMessage to other Apple users or other Google messages to other Android users is secure. Continue.
Yeah,
There's a couple more of these.
All right. Before we continue, I did want to make a point, and I've aired this publicly. What kind of a ridiculous situation are we in where a foreign government or a foreign country can hack your phone to find out who you've been talking to, who you've been texting, and the contents of that potentially? And it's a nationwide thing that affects everybody.
The whole country.
Everybody.
America.
And yet people are like, nah, I'm chill with that because I can get my cheap plastic tat off Temu.
I cannot believe there is complacency here.
Yeah, why is it that nobody's taking this?
I'm
why
sorry,
is it not a
but-
huge uproar?
Are you stupid?
Yeah.
Are you actually
Like, where's
stupid?
Jeff?
Or I should say, are you actually that selfish?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't care, but what about the whole independence and sovereignty of your nation?
And then at the same time, like, oh, China's doing great, like in green tech.
Green tech, and then puts out articles about it.
Yeah.
They just hacked your country, bro.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Why is everyone so complacent about this? Is it literally because they're like, well, Jeff's taking a Temu in the bathroom?
Cyber warfare is fine.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, they're just endangering the lives of dissidents and human rights activists and various people and spying on me and my family
and government people that work in the government.
Yeah, that's all okay because I can get Temu. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Kind of annoys me. I'm pretty sure our audience isn't like that.
No. While messaging generated most of the headlines following the FBI and CISA warnings, it applies to calls as well. Most cellular calls are not fully encrypted and are at risk for interception, whether lawful or otherwise. It's network dependent. Using a platform like WhatsApp or Signal or FaceTime on iPhones resolves this. While such calling remains unusual in the US and most of Europe, travel around Asia or Africa, and you'll see many users default to secure calling given distrust of networks. So yes, use a encrypted app.
They're wrong. It's not the distrust of networks, it's the cost.
It's the cost.
Because to make a phone call over WhatsApp or whatever is free if you're on Wi-Fi.
Correct.
Right? But if you used your cellular data phone, it's very expensive in African countries. I know for a fact they completely take...
There's probably a sprinkle of distrust of networks in there as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean,
not in the poor countries.
Well, I'll tell you, no, I think the distrust comes from people traveling from a developed country to a developing country. They're like, I can't trust this random Mumbai cell.org, you know? Because I know there's a lot of scams here from that point of view. But the locals, that's not their reasoning. It's because it's cost. But yes, if you make phone calls, try and make them through WhatsApp.
Yes.
It's just a little bit of a PSA.
Or
to
send
everyone.
messages.
Yeah,
get you and your friends on WhatsApp or Signal or any of the encrypted, end-to-end encrypted ones. Use FaceTime, right? If you have iPhone, use FaceTime.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, continue.
Sure.
This is the last one.
The last one's coming up, okay?
Yes. Just some good advice we wanted to give everyone, just because of the sheer insanity that happened.
Yes.
So what do you do now? Fortunately, timing is everything here, and Apple is about to release iOS 18.2, which for the first time enables iPhone users to change their default messaging and calling apps. This means that when you click call or message, it won't be the standard phone or iMessage app that opens. So you can have it run through WhatsApp or run through Signal. So you don't have to go, I need to open this app every time. Right?
That's not bad. That's pretty cool.
As Apple explains, in iOS and iPad OS 18.2 and later, a user may select an app other than Messages app to send instant messages. The system launches the default messaging app to handle when a user taps an IM link from another app. It also has told messaging platforms how to prepare your app to be a default messaging app, which is great.
Cool.
Good advice for Americans that are oftentimes a little behind on some
I'd say
of this.
everybody, not just Americans.
But particularly
you think China's not hacking your country?
For sure. There's some settings here. You guys can read this a little bit later.
Yeah.
But it says, especially if you're in a high-risk job or location, this is a big deal for you.
Yeah.
Obviously not as big deal if you're not. However, everyone potentially got hacked.
Well, the FBI's warning that substantial metadata was stolen in China's hack of US networks is critical. That metadata means who you know, who you call, when you call them, and for how long. It's the same metadata available to Meta and others, and can be provided to law enforcement on lawful request. It is not captured by some platforms such as Signal in the same way. That said, unless you're in an especially sensitive or high-risk job or location, this is much less serious risk.
Than content.
Yes, than content, yeah.
Just to point out there, though, is that everyone was a potential victim here.
Yeah.
And I think there should be way more uproar about this.
Well, think about it this way, guys. You know when there's a true crime thing, right?
Yeah.
You read about this all the time. The police have to get like a warrant and a subpoena to get the call records, right? They have to go through a long legal process, and it has to be approved by a judge and all that. And then they're like, okay, you can get the call history records, and that's just like what time, not the actual contents. No. It's just like he phoned from this time.
Right.
China just got them all for free.
Yes, for free.
Without any judge.
For nefarious reasons.
Yeah. And for all those people who are like, our government spies on us. They get this information. They can get this. Yeah, get mad about that, but get madder about the country, the foreign country that actually wants your country to fail, getting all that stuff
it's trying to
for
weaponize
free,
this.
without any legal process, without anything.
Right.
Just
hacked.
China stole your data, man.
Yes. China hacked you.
And you're like, I'm going to go buy a cheap free 99 thing on Temu.
Yeah.
Maybe you should not. Maybe you should be like, this country just stole my data.
Yes.
And my grandma's data.
How is this not cyber
This
warfare?
country knows that I phoned my ex-girlfriend at 3 a.m. in the morning because I was drunk.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's not something you probably want.
No, this is weaponized information and data that was just hacked by an adversarial nation from China. You should be pissed off, and you should be reaching out to your congressmen and people in law to make something happen about this.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
Should you not?
I agree, 100%.
Anyway, we are going way over. We'll rip through this real quick.
Okay. This is an interesting thing.
It's weird.
OnlyFans is now available in China, but it wasn't announced.
No, it was
just
silent.
suddenly it because it's blocked, obviously.
Yeah.
Suddenly it became unblocked. I don't know who's like hammering the refresh all the time and figured this out.
That's what I went on Reddit, and somebody, that was the first thing someone said. They're like, how did you refresh this enough to know?
Yeah, exactly.
And the guy was like, I'm just checking.
Yeah, exactly. There's a little coincidence we wanted to point out here, though.
Yes.
Okay, just a little coincidence. I think this
Because
is like
all this kind of stuff is blocked.
This
China,
is
right?
like the highest paid OnlyFans person.
Yeah, this made news, right?
Yes, Sophie Rain, who got like $43 million in a single year.
Wow.
Now she made that public. By the way, I think this is the stupidest thing ever. Like this OnlyFans thing, I can't stand it. But whatever. To each his own. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Take a look at the date, November 28th. She made it public
how much
that she
money
made
was made,
$43 million. On November 29th, China suddenly unblocks it.
Yeah.
Do you think
It
it's
was
maybe
the day
because?
after.
Do you think maybe they're like, holy crap, look at this money that we could be getting, foreign money coming into our country?
Winston and I had a quick brainstorm about this.
Yeah.
And what we think, it's probably a combination of a couple things, but the biggest thing is China's dying for foreign currency and foreign direct investment, FDI.
Yes.
What I've noticed, a little caveat here, is that although it was unblocked, there are no Chinese payment methods available. So Chinese people can't use their payment methods.
Yes.
But people are making profiles to get money from foreigners, from Americans, from Canadians, from all these different countries in the world in China.
Yes.
So what better way to get foreign direct investment of tens of millions of dollars with a pool of millions and millions of people that could potentially make profiles? Right.
Now, I wanted to this is my own little moral compass thing jumping in here. I wanted to say, if you're like if you're an OnlyFans simp, if this is what you do, if this is your thing, a part of your life,
Part of your life.
yeah, seriously, I would advise against joining any Chinese OnlyFans, and the reason is because human trafficking is going to be involved here. Okay. The Chinese government's going to be complicit in this, just like they're complicit in sending fentanyl abroad, okay? They do that. Fentanyl is completely illegal in China, right? But they're more than happy to sell fentanyl overseas. It's the same thing with producing pornography is illegal in China. Prostitution is illegal in China, but they're more than happy to export that outside. And what's going to happen is you're going to have actual pimps, okay, pimping out and setting up on behalf of the government these OnlyFans models. And I think you probably don't want to be complicit in human trafficking.
No.
So,
I think it'd be interesting to see where this goes anyway.
Yeah, it hasn't been officially announced in China. The government has.
It's weird though.
But they do that a lot. They make these gray areas where they can make money under the table.
Because officially, if they said no, it's fine, then it goes against all of their whole. We are a pure country. The Communist Party is pure. All that
it's
stuff.
the same with fentanyl. They're like, oh no, we don't approve of that. Meanwhile, they're like, yes, let's enable this. You know, and it's their whole like, let's get revenge for the opium wars thing. Anyway,
we are going way long.
Yeah, sorry guys.
China bans export of critical materials to U.S. as trade tensions escalate. This is huge, massive news, but basically rare earths. China's banning rare earths in retaliation for the chip ban.
Yes.
Definitely read this article. This is going to be ground shaking, like the implications of this tit for tat thing. Huge.
This is going to hurt China in the end.
Oh, big
in a
time.
massive
but
way.
They had to do something.
Yeah, because you know what's going to happen is people are going to just say, well, screw that. We're going to stop being dependent on you and figure out ways to mine our own rare earths and deal with our own thing. You know, it's going to be hard. It's going to be costly, but it's going to happen. And I, for one, I'm glad this is going down. I don't want everybody to be dependent on China.
No, I mean, the faster the supply chains move away, the better.
Absolutely, because they're vindictive. Okay.
We can't spend too much time in this. We'll play it.
All right, we'll just explain what happened. In the UK, there was a silent protest by some pro-Hong Kong democracy people about the 47 people that were sentenced to ridiculous sentences.
So pro-democracy people in Hong Kong, remember China was like, we're not going to use this national security law, the thing that caused all the crazy protests in 2019. Millions of Hong Kongers went on the street. The majority of Hong Kong was anti-CCP, pro-democracy.
They were like, we don't want this national security law. They're like, no, it's fine. They enacted. Now they started to arrest activists, and they've jailed them for years.
Years and years, just
terrible.
for being activists to say, I want to exercise my freedom of speech.
So in the UK, the bunch of Hong Kong freedom of expression guys have their banners up to say, like, you know, this is unfair. Free these people who've been unjustly put in jail. Chinese citizen I don't know if they're a student or what. The three of them, they saw these guys. They started swearing at them, shouting at them. Threw a milkshake at them. You know, which you can't really do in a foreign country.
Throw a milkshake at me, bro.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't just do that.
No,
but they think they're emboldened.
They assaulted them.
Yeah, they're emboldened to do this because the Chinese government tells them that they can.
Yes.
So let's just show the clip. Right.
Can you please stop? Hey, can you please stop? We have called the police, and the police are coming. Yeah, we have called the police. We have called the police.
是不是坚持一个中国原则？
滚啊！
你说什么？
你是不是中国人？操你妈！
他们他妈身份证他
哎，你是香港人，不是中国人。
香港就是香港的。
你滚！操你妈！滚！操你妈！滚！
But why do you throw the milkshake at us?
你妈了个逼！中国人不会讲
Do you
中
know
国话
that's
是吧？
illegal?
操你妈！
他们报警了，他们。
So here's the good part about this whole interaction, is they think they can get away with it with impunity. So the Hong Kong protesters, two of them followed them.
Yeah.
And they're filming them. They said, we've called the police. You can't get away. You've just assaulted us. You assaulted us with a milkshake.
Yeah.
You know, like, shh. Okay. So this guy gets real, like, he's like, well, screw you guys. So he calls the embassy, the Chinese embassy.
Yeah, in London.
Yeah. And let's see what he says. Like, he phones them.
我手上的饮料丢到他们的面前。但是我现在需要大使馆的帮助，我觉得我可能会遇到危险。
Starting to get nervous. Thinks he's in danger.
Yeah.
那你们现在领事馆
can't provide me with any help.
Yeah, what did he expect?
Because I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah.
He's nervous.
Yeah.
等于说现在就是使馆没办法给我提供任何的保护，他们现在一直跟在我身边，
They're following me.
一直跟在我身边。行，那就是找警察来处理，
So
对
we
吧
should let the police handle it, right?
行。
Okay, can I
那
go to the
现
nearest
在我
embassy
去最近
now?
的大使馆可不可以？我说我现在去最近的大使
Can I
馆
go to the
寻求
nearest
帮助。
embassy for help now?
给我说一个你们可以解决
Tell
的
me how
方
I'm
法。
supposed to sort this out.
现在那个港
Hong Kong
独
activists
现在
is
就
holding a
拿
phone
着手机
face,
对着我的脸录像，
filming me.
对，也侵犯了我
Yes,
的
he's
权利
violating
啊。
my rights. What rights?
Come on,
bro?
what rights?
那中国使馆它可以起到什么样的作用？
do
请告
about
诉我。
this?
The Royal...
So,
Whoa, what?
that's-
Is
that's
that
just
repetition?
No, this is a repeat.
Okay.
So what happened was basically and I'll tell you why this happens. These Chinese mainlanders that are nationalists, like pro-CCP, they'll go abroad and they'll do these violent things. They'll go and assault someone. They'll scream all these horrible words.
We've seen them. They tear their signs down.
They tear their
they do all
signs
this
down.
stuff.
They'll go and harass all the protesters. We went to that protest one time, right? Just to look. And they were filming every single person.
They film
that
it and then
was
they send it to the Chinese embassy to say, this person's
in America,
an activist.
In UK,
Yeah.
in Canada. They'll go and do these things.
Yeah.
And they don't expect any repercussions because the Chinese government has told them, when you're abroad, you defend your honor. You defend the CCP's honor, and we'll make sure you're
and we'll,
okay.
yeah, Will Flores
always
will save you.
protect
Yeah, we'll protect you. We'll save you, you know?
And they never do.
Never, not
and
once.
whenever they try, they get very, very disappointed because the Chinese government wants to put that out there for its propaganda message. Yeah,
Yes.
we'll protect you. Please go defend our honor.
Yeah.
And they'll never help them 1 ounce. They will disown you in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
They'll let you get arrested by the foreign police and they'll never bail you out.
Nope. I mean, look what happened when in Ukraine when Russia invaded.
Yeah.
And you know they're always like, yeah, we're here to help you out.
Yeah.
Taiwan evacuated all of their citizens, and the Chinese citizens had to try to find their own way to get across the border, and they were like taking taxis and buses and having to like bicycles or whatever to get out.
They left them for dead.
They just left them for dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, again, this is just one of those things, and it's quite satisfying to see it in real time. As this guy in his $1,000 Canada Goose jacket, who's abroad there, causing trouble and assaulting people because they're trying to just express their own freedom of speech.
I support this guy's. If he wants to support the CCP, if he wants to use his voice, that's fine. I support him just as much as I support the freedom protesters.
Yeah, but you don't,
in a rights perspective.
Yeah, but you don't throw your drink at them. You don't get physical. You don't destroy their property.
And you don't harass people that have a different opinion than you.
Yes.
You don't go fight for your country abroad like that.
I mean,
you do it within your legal means.
Yes.
You don't assault people and disrespect people
and
doing the
don't
opposite.
freaking try to dox them and get their families in trouble in China and stuff, because that's what they're doing.
Correct.
It's a very evil what they're doing. So to see when he calls he like needs help, it's like, so you're not going to help me now?
I'm glad this clip's going around the Hong Kong internet, because the Hong Kong people are like, lol.
Yeah, I know, it's
shame
funny.
shields up, guys. Shame
shields up. That's what you need.
Anyway, we're gonna hit Yamcha real quick.
Yes, all right, guys. It's that time of the show, Yamcha. This is where we answer your questions and you question our answers. It's Friday. I hope everybody's got some nice cold drinks chilling in the fridge, whether they're alcoholic or not. Time to loosen the tie and relax and answer your questions. So if you're not sticking around now live or on the weekend, we say stay awesome and bid you adieu.
That's right.
But if you're here now or on the weekend, let's get to answering some super chats.
Oh, yeah, with 20 memberships. Thank you so much. David with 5. That's really nice.
Yes. Welcome all new members, by the way.
David Lopan says, C-Milk looks like he's about to collect the cash from the hose. I see you, playa. Game recognizes game, pimp. Swing by the white tiger for some buy who, bro?
Okay. Looks like you've got, because of your gold chain.
I guess.
It's your gold chain.
Oh, I look like a henchman in the mafia.
Yeah, you do. It's kind of weird.
I heard that from someone.
Yeah, I heard that before.
Where have I heard that from?
Who knows?
It's a wonderful